something a little different today. I have here a black and white print from our good friend Pablo Picasso, one of the forefathers of collage. This piece is called Seated Woman. He did several versions of Seated Woman, and this one, as you can see, it being a print, it's just black and white, and it comes from a wonderful booklet I have that has master paintings and pictures of statues from around the world in the art world, and everything's in black and white. It's just a survey to get people familiar with the artwork. However, we want to do something with this. It's black and white, so it's kind of blah. I think it'll be a lot more fun if we turn this Picasso into our own and give her a little bit of color. Briefly want to talk about the choices I am making for this piece. And I bought this book at a yard sale nearby. I'm kind of overwhelmed by it because it's beautiful. There is so much fantastic imagery in here. I did cut one piece out because I want to use it for today, but at the same time, I'm kind of sad that I did because this is an absolutely marvelous book. I got it obviously because of the color, and now I'm like, I don't know if I want to cut it up anymore or use it in anything else. It's definitely great for collage, but it's also one of those book sets I may want to hang on to it. Even the National Geographic I was looking through, I did take just one piece I think out of it, but I want to read it. So we have some really bright, fantastic pattern and color going on here. And that being said, you've got to be careful with contrast because it can get really busy. This so far I like because this is a simple pattern. It has nothing to do with this kind of pattern. Looks like we're headed for like a green-red type of collage today. Not sure. That could always change. But again, contrast is needed. I could use some of this black background. I could even use some of this orange background because it will correspond with this. So we'll see what we end up using. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use this gal. She would be great in a regular collage that we do. I grabbed a popular mechanics. I think I may want to do some transparencies also today, and I may want to incorporate text. I'm teaching these text and transparency collage classes right now, so I've been thinking a lot about text, even if it doesn't really, something like this, if you have just a portion of this text, it could be meaningful. If it even has to be meaningful, it doesn't have to be meaningful. It just can be an ornament to the collage. So, I like white on black. Maybe we can use this too. Anyway, still thinking, still playing. Let's see what we come up with. I went ahead and cut into this beautiful book, even though I already tore the page out. And it felt really weird doing that because it's so pretty. I feel bad. I actually liked the way the backside is with the orange and this beige for our focal point, which is the face. Face is usually the focal point of any painting, drawing, composition. And I would like to make a transparency of this orange and white and then bring in some text. That's where my mind is going. I also went ahead and did the other side with the pattern. I am using a better quality of packing tape here because that's what I found when I was searching for my materials this morning. You can use any kind of packing tape for transparencies. It doesn't matter. This is a tougher packing tape, but again, it's not going to affect the quality. You're still going to get that wonderful translucency when you use this technique. Now, the thing I'm wondering about is this is a very high quality book. The paper has a lot of tensile strength. It's not fragile in any way. So I'm curious to see what we come up with. Covered the image, the adhesive going onto the side of the ephemera that I want to make transparent using my trusty bone file. And I feel bad because I'm vegetarian and I bought this before I became vegetarian, so I'm still going to use it, but I do believe it was made from bone. So this is from my bookbinding days when I was a bookbinder, and I love bookbinding, but I'm not very good at it. But I did keep this file. So this is definitely coming in handy right now. You can always use the rounded edge of your scissors, but I had my little trusty bone file and we don't want it to go to waste. So I am going to continue on here and see what transparencies we come up with. I ended up soaking this paper because it was thick for a little bit longer than I normally do, and it came off for the transparency quite well. It might dry on the back with a gauziness from the paper that used to be on the back, but I think it'll be a successful transparency. I also did one for the pattern that came off well too. I'm going to let these dry a little bit, and I just used my fingertips. You can use a sponge gently to take away that back layer. There's still more coming off. Okay, that's fine. And I'm going to let these dry a little bit because you can always come back and add a little more water to your finger pads and continue with the pilling. Occasionally what happens is that it pulls the ink away and you have little gaps in your image. I actually like that with transparency. I'm learning to like it, so never fear. Just go ahead and work with it because something else is going to show through. It is, after all, going to be a transparency. So we have a high quality paper, a high quality tape, and we're coming up with a very interesting transparency. But again, whatever you have on hand, give it a try, play with it, because it's really remarkable what this technique comes up with. So I'm going to let these dry just a bit and continue on with my work. Yeah, it's always interesting. Really quick, this is why when the opportunity arises that I see two of the same magazines, books, whatever, I often like to grab both because you will get double the pleasure, quite frankly. I have this imagery that I want to use in the collage. I may not have enough with just the one, but I have the two. And you can play with patterns and with sequence when you have more than one. It just adds to the fun. So I remembered that I had the same magazine, and also because it's National Geographic, I think I want to read it too. But I know that I wanted to use this imagery for the collage, and I'm going to need extras. So here we are. I'm trying to find this part. I think it was in here. So I think I want to keep it simple, and I want to keep it minimal in regard to how much ephemera I am using. Maybe just not reusing so much, but playing with, okay, number 7, page 75. So page 75, I hope it's in here. I don't think I got rid of it yet. Here we are. So it just allows me to have more of the same color pattern, and I can go back to it, think about it, and yeah, it's just something I like to do, and it helps. So that's what I do. Another note, when you use the transparencies in your collages, you can use Mod Podge, regular adhesive glue. Sometimes there's still enough adhesive left on the tape that you can use that. I have been using some gel medium. Liquid Tex is a really good product. It's not terribly expensive. It's just a matte medium. I'm not a painter, never claimed to be, but I like using this for collage because it's going to act as an adhesive. Also, I noticed that the gauzy paper remaining on the back of the transparency, it almost gets eaten up by the acrylic medium, and I like the way it looks. So this really came out better than I expected, so I'm very, very happy with it. This is going to be the face of the painting, and I'm just cutting off the edges just to clean it up a little bit. So I do use matte medium. Mostly I don't use any fancy mediums. This is going to turn into another mixed media collage. Nothing wrong with that, but I normally don't do mixed media. It's just, X-Acto knives, Mod Podge, and paper. In this case, we're using transparencies. We are using the acrylic medium, and this is kind of what I want to go for. I wanted something like this, and I saw the word creativity. I really wanted it there. Yeah, that looks good too. Make the nose red, and then I saved the little eye from the image, the original eye. Kind of like the way that looks. Don't know if I'll do it. We'll see. We got a ways to go. This is going to be for the hair on the seated lady. I'm very happy how this transparency came out. It was white font on a black background, and it was also with vintage paper. So again, doesn't have to be a fancy book, doesn't have to be fancy tape, and you have a very interesting layer to your collage. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on the back of it. I was thinking maybe the red, because it looks like I'm moving away from that beautiful colorful pattern that I cut out, and I'm kind of staying with a red, black, and blue palette here. So yeah, I love how this came out. I'm very, very happy with this. Probably going to use this red background. And then I prepared this for the arm. Since the skin of the face uses this beige and the red with some text on back of it, I'm going to stay with that for the arm. And am I ever going to use this pattern? I don't know, but I'm actually cutting up the pattern to get this red and beige color, and we're running out of pattern here. I was thinking about using it for the dress, and then again, I'm not sure. The minimal palette feels like it's working for this, probably because I'm influenced by the gray that is showing. So we also have some skin that's going to be there. I'm going to use that beige again, but I wanted to use it for this arm and maybe the hands, so I'm going to have to cut some more. I won't use all of the beautiful color pattern here. I don't think I will, just for the sake of this, but we'll see. It's collage, and I always go in different directions. I may try a different type of paper for the background, for the transparency. Yeah, that looks really good. are done. Does it look like Cedar Woman by Picasso? Doesn't matter because it is a collage that we did. And I really like the color palette that I ended up with. I like the transparency. I even like the matted look of the transparency alone. It worked out pretty well. I like playing with layers, and I might be doing that even more in my next works. I'm also thinking about what kind of background. I find it actually funny that I was so excited about that pattern, and then I felt so bad about cutting it out of the book. And instead, I didn't even use this pattern. I used the back. Why does that happen? I don't know. I mean, this could technically be the background, maybe, for this, because she does have, she's not too busy. I'm not sure, but I am thinking about the background. I might do that off camera. I'll just do a simple background for now. And this will show up in another collage. Anyway, I am so glad you stuck with me on this collage journey with some more text and transparency. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, I will see you in the next video.